John Hard's letting agent legend, MD of Countrywide Lettings, responsible for over 127,000 properties, bringing in £140 million of profit. I bet they could do with that now.
Not profit, revenue.
No, revenue.
In excess of, yes.
Okay. Still good money though, mate.
Still good money.
You said in the previous video that you thought letting agents are fighters. No one's ever said that to me. Why is that taught to me?
Talk to you. Well, fighters, they have to be. It's not an easy industry. I think I made reference to that some time ago when we were based at the back of the offices at Countrywide on the first floors, and to drive a business and generate the growth that we had, you have to be very determined to win. You've also got, the letting agents have to deal with a lot of conflict in their job between landlords and tenants, and so you have to be a very determined person to overcome all that and to keep going, keep smiling, go out and win new properties.
Because most letting agents tend to be very detail orientated, very micro, but sometimes not necessarily macro and big picture.
That can be the case, but I would say it's less the case. But some of those, you need people that look in at micro. Well, we need accountants to scrub through spreadsheets and be detailed, and you need property managers to scrub through things and be detailed to make sure it all works. Rentals has a massive amount of transactions with the rents that come in and the payments that go out and the timing of that. So you have to be very detailed in running a lettings business. But being a fighter is about it's a continuous change, and you've got legislation. You've got to be on top of everything you do, as well as smile and go out and win new business.
Because it's a hard job being a letting agent.
It's a hard job, yeah.
It's not like not like these glory boy estate agents that razz around in their Vauxhall Novas in their sharp suits.
So easy for Bob Scarf and his team. So easy. There you are, Bob. Didn't know they were born really. Sit there, try and look good. No, all the jobs are hard, but actually lettings is a very detailed job, and you have to be a fighter to keep going at it.
Why do you think the letting agents were seen as the poor relations up until 2008, but basically, let's be frank, with Countrywide, saved their skin?
Well, it was a tiny business, so it was never a major player, if you like. But it wasn't recognised as it just wasn't recognised as the thing to be doing.
No, it
wasn't sexy. People had lost sight that actually it was a regular income that kept paying the bills. And actually, if you look at it in the correct way, then lettings, you should run the business based on lettings, and estate agency should be the icing on the cake. So and in good years you make lots of money, and then in the years you don't, you've got letting supporting it, and that's how it's been seen more recently. When I first went to work, that's how it was seen. So my very first job as a trainee,
it's almost come full circle.
It's come full circle, yeah. Same with surveying, and having a multi-discipline practice was what kept everything going.
Do you think bosses of estate agents could learn from that?
Well, I think the good ones have. And when I referred to it in a different interview with the Connells results, they look at it as a wholesome business. And it's contra-cyclical. It used to be, probably a bit less now. It's a bit more flattened out. But yes, you've got to run a wholesome business. But let the experts that know run that part of the business.
Isn't it interesting that when it comes to running the businesses, that the likes of your LSLs and Connell Sequence are very much in the background, but everyone seems to talk about Countrywide. Why do you think that is?
Well, they've always talked about Countrywide. It's always been the bad boy or the winner or whatever it has been. And when Harry Hill ran it, when I worked with him, he used to say, keep out of the press, keep the publicity away, because it's never good for you. And he was right, but you can't help it in the end. Today's about that. But Connell's, LSL, they're very good at keeping the lid on it. Many other agents are leaders Romans, unless there's an acquisition or something.
Yeah.
But Countrywide has become a target. It's a bit unfair because there are still 10,000 people that work there, and lots of the messages that you read in the online press are very hurtful to those people that work very hard all the time. And when I went back to Countrywide, I was very keen to make sure that we supported all those colleagues I had that still do the job, and they feel that pain every time they read something negative about Countrywide. And if I was before I left Countrywide in September, I was saying we should go back to the market and say what's good, because they're doing such wonderful things that aren't picked on. The training programs, the development of staff, I mean, it's fantastic what Countrywide are doing, but no one ever hears about it. But they need to speak about that more than they do. It's a fantastic business, and if it is acquired by somebody else, they'll get a winner.
Maybe in the next video we could talk about that.
Maybe we could. That would be very good.